Good morning. Lent. Lent is a great time to think about how we meet together to hear the Word of God preached and receive bread and wine. This last part goes by a few names: the Eucharist, the Lord's Supper, communion. And while different groups of Christians have believed different things about what exactly it is and what it does or the science of it, this practice that Jesus started fosters gratitude, community, and a longing for a future feast to come. Because Christianity believes history ends in a feast. The Eucharist in Greek means giving thanks, and this gratitude is the mysterious texture of getting together with people you don't know to receive bread and wine. People who are makers have the best seat in the house when it comes to this combination of science and texture. I have a friend named Blaine Davis, and he wasn't a baker and he wasn't a builder, but he had a love for food and for the gifts of God and a hunger for community. So he bought a book called The Bread Builders and mastered the science of bread as he built a bread oven, brick by brick, in his backyard next to the garage. And he would later watch as simple flour, water, yeast, and salt didn't just have a crackly crust or a spongy crumb. When people came over to his house to eat his food, those common elements became laughter and joy and friendship. They had the texture of mystery. On Sundays, City Church meets and hears the good news of Jesus from an ancient book, and we break bread and drink wine together. The maker of these earthly gifts makes his real spiritual presence known in this meal. Our own tables at home have the texture of mystery. There is a chemistry formula for how to bake bread or make wine, but there is still something hard to explain about what they can do when people gather together to enjoy them. Sometimes this mystery is not without heartache. For my family, this looks like the heartache around food itself. My kids have extensive food allergies. Sincere sorrow is a frequent companion of my kids over feeling left out because they cannot eat with others, or fearing the food they eat will lead to a shot of epinephrine and a visit to the emergency room. So in our home, the hope of one day being able to feast together without fear is an anchor. And we look forward to being reminded of this weekly in an embodied experience. With others, we hear his body is broken and his blood is shed for us. We stand and walk down the aisle next to somebody we may or may not know, and we receive the gifts from someone else's hand, chewing and swallowing. And when life doesn't feel like a joyous feast, we can look forward in hope to the feast to come, where there will again be laughter and joy and friendship when we all eat together with Jesus. So on Sundays we gather and we feast and we hope and we give thanks for Christ's presence and his work in our lives and in the world.